Hi, Hipyo. I need some advice on what keyboard to buy.
Okay, I get it. You want to know what keyboard to buy. Well, howdy hey. I'm Hipyo Tech, and let's just say I've been doing this for 3 whole years. And by this, I mean hoarding keyboards. So let's just say I've got a couple keyboards up my closet. Don't take that out of context. Well, it turns out this is great for you because in my quest to try hundreds of keyboards, I'm going to be showing you my favorite budget keyboards that you can buy. Oh, and did I mention I'll show you switches and keycaps as well? Gamers, I haven't forgotten about you either. But first, I need some ground rules. The keyboards that I show you must be in stock right now or soon, and they must be hot swappable so they're beginner friendly. Most of these are going to be custom keyboards, so I'm going to start with my basic recommendations, and then I'm going to move to the switches and keycaps, and finish off with the budget kings. So you're going to want to stick around for that. Speaking of sticking around, 79% of you aren't subscribed, so stick around the subscribe button. Now, before we get to the super cheap and fancy customs, let's start with the mid-range. And I know what you're thinking, Keychron, Hipyo, again? Well, yeah, the Keychron Q series of keyboards, and now the Q Pro series, are a line of keyboards that I feel comfortable recommending to literally anyone getting into keyboards. They're what I like to call the good enough keyboard. Now, obviously, they're not the best, but they come in at a lot of different prices, and they also come in a lot of different layouts, like jeez, that's a lot of layouts. What? Now, what I think makes these so great as beginner boards is they sound good once you put in just a little bit of effort modding them. And that'll be a trend with a lot of these more budget-friendly keyboards in this list. Oh, you don't believe me? Just listen to this before and after, okay? Yeah, for 170 bucks, that's really not that bad. But I know what you're thinking. Hipyo, that's still too expensive. And I'll be getting to the cheaper boards later, don't worry. But you know what's not cheap, yet people keep buying? The GMMK Pro. And I genuinely have to wonder why people keep buying this board, as I think it's genuinely overpriced. Like, it's fine, but it's overpriced. Please, don't buy it. Don't buy it. Stop. Let's play a little game. I'm going to show you this keyboard, and you're going to tell me, is it modded or stock? Well, it's actually stock. This is the Dust Silver Lilac 75, and it's the start of budget. I'll give you just a little taste. It starts at $80 for a fully built keyboard, and they've got a lot of different color options. Now, I've got full videos covering every keyboard in this video, and also I've got them linked down below with affiliate links. But this one was genuinely one of the most impressive stock keyboards I've ever seen. However, when you buy it, make sure you select the Gateron switches. Those are the best, by the way. Now, unlike some of the other keyboards, when you mod this one, it actually doesn't make it any better. So this is definitely one of the best budget pickups if you're incredibly lazy. However, I'll have a more premium pickup if you are also lazy, but have more money. Also, Dust Silver has some cheaper boards like this $53 60%. That was a mouthful. Don't get them. They're nowhere near as good as the quality on their 75%. Just save up the extra 20 bucks. Like, that's not very good. Speaking of saving up, some of these boards might be in stock from time to time, so I'm including them in this video, like the Zoom 75. Now, any of the keyboards from Mellitrix tend to hover around 150 to 200 bucks, but they're well worth it. This is the Zoom 75, which comes in stock every once in a while, as well as a Zoom 65, TKL, etc. They come with a lot of foam and pretty well-lubed stabilizers, which is the ultimate package that makes it so your keyboard will end up sounding so good. Oh, they also feel good too, I guess, but I'll have their website linked down below in case any of their other boards happen to pop on sale while you're watching this video. Who knows? They might be in stock, they might not be. That's really one of the biggest problems with the keyboard hobby, is sometimes stuff just comes in and out of stock, so you have to move kind of quick when you find something that you like. Speaking of things that I like, my friend Toby is running a sale right now for his wooden keyboards. Now, these are a bit more expensive, but they're handmade wood, and they feel and sound absolutely incredible. It's a 75% with a macro row, and I'll have it linked down below. Ooh, bars. Let me just leave you with the sound test of it. Now, for some of you, you might be thinking, Hipyo, I don't care about typing. All I care about is gaming. And what I have to say to you is most keyboards work for that. Like 90% of gaming keyboards are marketing, and that's it. But if you really insist on a gamer keyboard, I'll help you out. One of the few keyboards that isn't marketing that I've actually tried is the Wooting 60HE. They've got these gamer switches, but the keyboard's a bit more expensive, coming in at 175 bucks. And now, again, I've got a whole entire video on this, but essentially these are some of the only keyboards that I would say would be actually more advantageous to use for gaming, but it's only in very specific use cases. It has rapid trigger, which basically means that your key will reset every time you start to go up. This is really great if you're playing games like Osu, and not that much else, really. Like, it might be kind of nice, but it's really a lot of marketing. But if you insist on that, then hey, the Wu-Ting is technically the best gamer keyboard. Look at all these gamer features that it has. But ultimately, I think the switches don't feel very smooth, and they also don't sound very good. So let's talk about a different gaming keyboard, the $180 Asus Strix Scope 2. Now, this one literally doesn't have any features that would make you better at gaming, but it's got the gamer aesthetic, which some people really like for some reason. It's also got really good wireless, and its one advantage is that it sounds absolutely incredible stock. It also feels really nice too. Now, there's a million gamer keyboards out there, but hopefully the takeaway from this is that you don't really need a keyboard specifically for gaming, and we can go back to the budget part of the video where you're not going to be wasting all of your money just for gamer aesthetic. Don't get me wrong, these aren't necessarily bad, and you shouldn't feel bad if you want these types of keyboards. It's just all about preference. Now, I might have tried 40 keyboards last year, but I tried a lot more than 40 switches. Now, you might think all keyboard switches are the same. There's no difference between any of them. Well, you're kind of right, but you're also very wrong. Keyboard switches come in all different shapes and colors. Not really sizes though. And let's talk about my favorite, Wu-Ting switches. Now, you may or may not have heard of the process of lubing switches, where you manually brush lube on switches to make them sound and feel better. What I discovered last year is that it can frequently be a waste of time. Now we're seeing a lot more factory lube switches like the Wu-Ting Studios switch line, which I'll have linked down below. Even more specific than that are the Morandi switches, which come in at $45 to build out a board. They are absolutely the best switch I've ever tried from the factory. Literally incredible. I mean, look at the sound test for the Zoom 75 from earlier. That's these. Full disclosure, they are a sponsor of mine, but these have quickly become one of my favorite switches for anything. A lot of switches just end up scratchy and spring pingy out of the box when they're not factory lubed. I've tried many different batches from Wu-Ting, and they always end up incredibly consistently lubed and really good. I could spend a whole entire video going just on switches, and let me know if you want that, but these $40 switches from Akko tend to be also very good. Now, basically any Akko switch that says that it's lubed will end up being very decent. And if you aren't familiar with lubing, it's where you mod a switch by literally putting lubricant in it to make it sound more smooth. I don't care about plastic. Now, I've literally made a whole entire music video about how I hate keyboard group buys and keycaps, mostly because they're always out of stock and you can never buy the nicest ones. They're also really expensive. Well, for around 25 bucks, you can get these B keycaps. They look amazingly cute, they're a flat profile, and I really like them. One thing that's definitely gotten better in the last year is that if you've ever heard of GMK keycaps, they're like the quote-unquote most popular. Well, they're now frequently in stock at drop.com. But if $100 plus is too much for you, then you can get these Idobao Blue Cat keycaps for only 50 bucks, which is a really good value. They sound amazing. There's also offerings from Akko that you can end up getting for quite cheap, although some of them are clones, which is a little bit cringe. There's also a million different keycap sets on Amazon that are original and decently affordable, like these Sumgzin keycaps that come in stock from time to time, that are only 42 bucks for a whole entire kit. With keycaps, the most important thing is making sure that it'll fit your keyboard. So just compare the layout of your keyboard with the keycaps that it shows on the website. And then just get something that gives you joy. You know, these are just recommendations. Obviously, you might not like these color schemes that I recommended, but keep your mind open. Now, if you're ready for my incredibly biased opinion, I think the best keycaps you could possibly get right now are Polycaps Hipyo. This is in fact my keycap set, and you can get it for $79.99 from Kinetic Labs. This is a die-sub PBT set that I worked very hard to bring to fruition. So obviously the best keycaps are mine, and there are no other better keycaps. That is a joke, that is a joke. Here's the part of the video a lot of you have been waiting for, the budget-friendly version. Now we'll get cheaper as the video goes on, but first let's start with the NJ80 from this video with Jeremy. This was really good value last year, but it's actually started to have gotten beaten out? But what is beating it out? I mean, what's going on here? Well, the Sense 75 from Drop is now $99 for an aluminum keyboard that can sound a lot better with just a little bit of work. Now, 99 bucks is kind of the sweet spot for budget custom keyboards. Now, budget customs usually get features like gasket mounts, which makes the keyboard a little bit more pillowy to type on, but with some of the pre-builts, you might have to do a little bit of modding. Like, check this out. Now, another really good contender for the same exact price bracket is the Monsgeek M1. This is another gasket-mounted aluminum board, and yes, $99. But what I really like about this is you've got a lot of different options at this price point now, so you can kind of choose the aesthetic that fits you the best. The Monsgeek M1 has a little cutout on the side, which some people might really like, and it looks generally very clean and clacky. But now it's time for the ultimate budget section of the video. Now, earlier when I talked about the Dust Silver, I think that keyboard is honestly one of the best, but for $64.99, the Keychron V1 and other Keychron V series are an amazing pickup. I told you we'd be coming back to Keychron. And if you spend 84 bucks for fully built, it also is not bad. The Keychron V series has expanded and now has a ton of different layouts for a lot of affordable prices. Now, the Q Pro series will be better, but the V series is great if you're on a budget and just really need a good keyboard. So if that checks all your boxes, then there you go, you've got a Keychron. But what if it doesn't? Well, for $60, you might want to build your own. This is the Kit Atom, and it's a Lego knockoff keyboard. You can get it bare bones for 60 bucks or the full kit for 99, which is honestly a great value, and dang it, we're back to that price. Now, this keyboard definitely took me by surprise when I built it earlier this year. I was expecting it to feel and sound cheap, but it actually feels quite weighted and sounds very, very good. Now, I can hear you. You're saying, Hipyo, these boards, they're like $100+. That's absolutely ridiculous. You're insane. I don't know what that has to do with any of this, but here's a budget option for you. Coming in at around $30 to $40, here's the Wilmir 60%. This can typically be found in stock at Amazon, link down below. And it's a diamond that needs some polishing. If you're looking to do some DIY, this might be the keyboard for you. If not, then never again. Personally, I put $20 modding this thing, and the video's in the top right, by the way, and I got it sounding good enough. Just listen. Oh, I'm sorry, was that not cheap enough? Was my years of research in keyboard making not cheap enough for you? Are you budget gang? How about $20? Ow. $20. Ow. Now, this is from one of my most popular videos where I upgraded the most popular keyboard on Amazon. This is the EU-Su, and it's as cheap as $15 from time to time. Now, it is bottom of the barrel basic, but it has some crazy, crazy potential if you're willing to give it some love. Kinda like me. Now, it's got terrible keycaps. It's got terrible blue switches. It's got a plastic case. You're probably thinking, Hipyo, why is this in the list at all? This is garbage. Well, as I mentioned before, if you got a couple hours of time, which I'm assuming a lot of you might have more time than money, then you can turn this into something way, way better. These are $20 keycaps that I put on here. Not bad, right? Now, if you don't leave a like and a comment for how good that was, I don't even know anymore. But ultimately, all of the keyboards in this video are good in their own right, and it really just depends what you want, as keyboards are preference. Do you value having a keyboard that's just the best right as you buy it? Then one of these more expensive keyboards might be a bit better for you. Does every single dollar matter, but maybe you have a little bit more free time? Then one of the budget options in this video might be suitable for you. Are you just really lonely and kind of need a friend? Well, any of these keyboards will work because the keyboard community is so nice. If I happen to leave a keyboard out that you can think of, then leave a comment down below, as I'd love to know. I'm only one Hipyo, but I would love to try a bunch more keyboards this year, and next year, and the year after, and then I might go on retirement actually, but who knows?